Well, good morning and welcome to this video from Yoker Evangelical Church. It's Wednesday the 13th of May and this morning we read Numbers chapter 22 and Psalm 62 and 63. But just before we look at those, some really good news to share. Eddie Lowe is now home. He has been discharged from hospital. And so please continue to pray for Eddie and Maggie and give thanks that he has made it home now. He's no longer in hospital. This morning, I'd like to take a look at Numbers chapter 22. I'm sure this is a familiar story to many of us. A lot of us know it simply as the talking donkey story that's in the Bible and that isn't Shrek. But I would like to look at it this morning because it is a story that encourages us to trust in God and that shows us how God takes care of his people. So in this chapter, we take an unusual look into the enemy camp. Most of Numbers follows the Israelites and their journey with Moses through the desert. But in 22, we take a break from that and we look at the king of Moab and see how one of the local kings is responding to this group of people following God in the desert. And just look how he is responding to them in verses 2 and 3. Now Balak, son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites, and Moab was terrified because they were so many people. Indeed, Moab was filled with dread because of the Israelites. So we meet Balak, who's king of these people, the Moabites, and they are sitting in their kingdom looking at the Israelites, seeing all the victories that they are having because God is on their side. And they are absolutely terrified because they think, well, it's going to be us next. These people are unstoppable. And so they reach out to somebody that they think can help them. They go to this guy called Balaam, and they hope that he'll be able to sort out their problem. The king thinks, oh, if I can get Balaam to put a curse on those Israelites, they won't stand a chance. And then we get that wonderful story of Balaam going out to meet with the people, riding on his donkey. The angel of the Lord keeps appearing and the donkey keeps stopping or running into walls or going off into fields, and Balaam keeps on beating his donkey and wishing he could kill it. He's so angry. And then finally, we're told God opens the mouth of the donkey, that famous talking donkey scene. And the angel speaking through the donkey rebukes Balaam. And he says, why are you doing this? And so the beauty of this passage is that somebody who started off looking quite dangerous, who at first might have given the Israelites some cause for concern, ends up being a figure of ridicule. We might laugh out loud as we read this story about a man arguing with a donkey. It is like something straight out of Shrek. This ridiculous scene, but through it, it is clear that this is through God's awesome power. And while Balaam might be ridiculed, God is not at all. And in fact, Balaam himself acknowledges this. He is left completely humbled before God. Balaam said to the angel of the Lord, I have sinned. I did not realize you were standing in the road to oppose me. Now, if you are displeased, I will go back. As Balaam submits to what God wants, it is clear that the Israelites are able to rest easy and that they don't need to be worried about what the Moabite king has planned for them. And that's not because of how powerful they are. That's not because they are particularly strong or clever or influential. In fact, none of that will help them at all. It is because God is the one that is looking out for them. And because it is that same God who today loves and cares for Christians, we can have that same confidence that if God is on our side, then his purposes will stand. And that just like those Israelites, we can be certain that nothing can take us away from God. That is the confidence that this story about a talking donkey gives us today. I hope you have a good day and God bless.